The men's 1500 metres has always been one of the most exciting and unpredictable races in track, but this year it has gone to a whole new level. Picking a favourite for the World Championships looks incredibly tough, with so many men raising their game to put themselves in contention. For context, the last 8 global finals have seen 8 different winners in this event. Only 3 men in history have ever defended their World Champs title, but the competition is so much stronger than when Noureddin Morselli and Hicham El Garouj were going back-to-back in the 1990s. This year alone, 14 different men have run 3:29 or quicker, with 26 athletes running 3:30 or faster. Now, prior to 2023, the most we had ever seen was 6 men running 3:29 and 10 men 3:30 in 2021, and as recently as 2019, only that year's world champion Timothy Cheruiyot broke the 3:30 barrier. The strongest runners are therefore no longer able to control races. Running from the front like Cheruiyot did in 2019 is suicide in today's event, as even running 3:27 or 3:28 pace, as Jakob Ingebrigtsen did at last year's Olympics, will see half the field lined up on your shoulder with 200 metres to go. For the Tokyo World Championships then, the key will be positioning in the last lap, paired with devastating closing speed. And one young man from the Netherlands has proved this summer that he has both in abundance. Niels Laros has already had a season to remember. His form since June has been scintillating, winning all 3 Diamond Leagues he has entered, as well as an audacious 800 5,000 metre double at the European Under-23 Championships. His latest win in the Diamond League final in Zurich showed impressive racecraft, as he got his positioning spot on when it mattered. He was in 4th at the bell, close enough to strike without leaving himself on the front to be shot at. He had clearly done his homework, knowing that Phanuel Koech tends to go with 300 metres to go, and latched on, following him down the back straight to move into second with 200 metres to go. From there it was a formality. He ran wide around the bend to ensure he didn't get boxed, then unleashed his kick in the last 100 metres. And it is that kick that has now made him the strong favourite for Worlds. Let's take a look at his last 200 and 100 metre splits from his last 3 Diamond League races, because they illustrate just how good he is at the moment. In Zurich, in a 3:29 race, he closed in 25.9 with a 12.5 last 100. In Brussels, a 3:30 race, he closed in 25.5 with a 12.5 last 100. And at the Bowerman Mile, which at 3:45 for the mile distance was equivalent to a 3:29 low 1500 metre race, he again closed in a blistering 25.9 with a 12.7 last 100 metres. This closing speed is crazy. When we compare it to what it has taken to win the last 2 global finals, it is clear that Laros has the gears needed to outkick anyone. In the 2023 World Champs final, Josh Kerr closed in 26.6 with a 13.6 last 100 metres to outkick Jakob Ingebrigtsen in a race that was overall a touch slower than Laros' victory in Zurich. In last year's Olympic final, it was a similar story, with Cole Hocker winning with a slower close than Laros here, running 26.3 and a 13.0 last 100. Now that race was a touch quicker, won in 3:27.65, and hints at how Laros might be challenged, which we'll discuss in more depth later. Laros has clearly built himself into the perfect athlete for modern 1500 metre running. While many questioned his decision to attempt an unconventional 800 5,000 metre double at the recent European Under-23 Championships, he knew it would give him all the tools he needs to beat the best in the world over 1500. Australian prodigy Cam Myers recently spoke on the Inside Running podcast about how he believes 1500 metre medalists require the ability to run 1:43 high for 800 metres and 12:55 for 5,000 metres. In Bergen, Laros showed just that, running 1:44 low for 800 metres in both the heats and final, while running wide in lane 2 to stay out of trouble and gapping the field in the finishing straight, showing he had much more left to give. In the 5,000, it was an even more dominant victory, as he controlled the race from the front, running a 54.11 last lap, despite only really accelerating with 100 metres to go. The fact he put 10 metres on his closest challenger in the finishing straight alone shows how dominant a racer he has become. But if anyone is to challenge Laros, it will likely be the even younger teenage phenom from Kenya, Phanuel Koech. Now, I have been high on Koech for a long time now, anointing him as the future of the 1500 metres in my first ever video on this channel. So if you haven't seen it already, give that a watch after this. I'll link it in the description. And of course, please remember to subscribe to my channel to make sure you're the first to see analysis like this. Up until the last two races, Koech had looked unstoppable. Following his first ever 1500 metre race on the 8th of June in Lucca, Italy, he had 3 wins in 4 outings, in blazing fast times. He beat Josh Kerr on home turf at the London Diamond League, Cam Myers and Isaac Nader in Ostrava, setting world under 20 records in the process. His only defeat came in the Paris Diamond League to an inspired Azzedine Habs, as starting just a little far back, his trademark final 300 metres kick came up just a touch short of overhauling the Frenchman, bringing him home in a still unbelievable 3:27.72. And it is that reliance on his last 300 that masks his only weakness. His coach, Claudio Berardelli, has talked of how his form is still raw, saying, "We need to work on these things, because the way he is sprinting, his legs and arms are going all over." Without the power to challenge Laros in the home straight then, Koech needs a fast race and to be able to gap him at his favoured 300 metre point or before. But with Laros running 3:29 low while looking comfortable in Zurich, Koech can't do that on his own. If Kenya are serious about getting their first global title since 2019, they need to use team tactics. Timothy Cheruiyot should simply be used as a pacemaker to take them through 1,000 metres in around 2:18. At that point, Phanuel Cheruiyot could either continue to keep the pace hot, hoping to leave Laros with nothing left to respond when Koech kicks in the last lap, or do what would be known in cycling as a reverse lead-out, sitting behind Koech as he leads and keeping Laros blocked behind, then letting a gap open to his fellow Kenyan to allow Koech to move away with no Laros on his shoulder. In reality, however, the Kenyans are unlikely to sacrifice their races for their teammate, so we'll probably see Laros simply position himself behind Koech with a lap to go before out-kicking him in the finale. Of the other contenders, Cole Hocker deserves a mention as last year's Olympic champion, and I do have him down as my third favourite. He had a mixed start to the season, not being as dominant in Grand Slam track as many expected him to be, and did run poorly over 5,000 metres at the Stockholm Diamond League. But his season has still been better than his 2024 gold medal winning campaign so far. He showed his fitness by running faster than the previous indoor 3,000 metre record, with a 7:23 at Millrose in February, performed well at the pre-classic where he finished higher and ran faster than in 2024, and then put in a very impressive performance at the US Championships. He led his heat from start to finish, winning in 3:32 and claiming it felt easy. In the final, he was outkicked by Jonah Koech and Ethan Strand, but still closed in a 26.1 last 200 metres and a 12.5 last 100 to comfortably make the team in a 3:30 race. And less than 24 hours later, he was back out on the track, outkicking Grant Fisher and Nico Young over 5k, closing in a super impressive 51.76 last lap. Hocker is therefore still the standout American contender, as he has a history of peaking when it matters for big races. But Laros will also have to watch out for Strand and Jonah Koech. Their closing speed in that US Champs 1500 metres was in the same range as the Dutchman, and while neither man has yet broken 3:30, they clearly have the capacity to do so, and could be a factor if they get their positioning right, especially if Tokyo ends up being a touch slower in the 3:30 to 3:33 range. Finally, Josh Kerr and Jakob Ingebrigtsen are still worth a mention after their rivalry defined this event through the course of the 2024 season. However, neither man looks particularly likely to challenge in Tokyo. Jakob has struggled with injuries and is yet to start his outdoor season. He must be fit again, as he allegedly tried to enter the 3,000 metre in Zurich, but was knocked back by Diamond League rules. But while he might be in shape to challenge over 3,000 and 5,000 metres, the chance that he has had time to improve his speed to Laros-like levels are slim to none, especially considering he has never really shown that in the past. If he does compete over 1,500 metres, his best hope is that the Kenyans make it a super fast race, allowing him to sit on and take advantage if Laros and the Americans struggle to follow. Josh Kerr has shown flashes of form this year, winning over 1,500 metres at both the Miami and Philadelphia Grand Slam track meets, but was a clear second in London to Phanuel Koech in a race in which he had hoped to break the British record. with his last outing a run out over 5,000 metres at the British Champs, where he easily beat a limited field but failed to close the last mile of a slow race in under 4 minutes. We have not really seen enough from him to class him as a strong favourite. That brings to an end my rundown of the top contenders. Let me know in the comments below if you think I've missed anyone. In such a stacked event, there is sure to be some quality athletes in with a chance that I haven't mentioned. And look out for more previews of what is sure to be an amazing World Championships coming soon on my channel. Thanks for watching everyone, and see you in the next one.